Can food offerings be left on your Mesa Blanca?
Hey, Leilani with the Magical Solution here. Hey, Nicole, thank you so much for this question and opening it up to the community. It's a great question. So, I think one of the things that we need to consider when we're talking about food offerings or when we're talking about the Mesa Blanca in particular is, again, we're talking about different traditions within Espiritismo, right? So, the first thing we want to consider is how is your mentor, teacher, elder, godparent teaching you how to set up your altar? Are they teaching you to set it up so that all the spirits that work with you are on one altar? Are they teaching you that only some spirits are on your boveda or mesa and other spirits are over there? Are they teaching you to separate out your spirit guides from your ancestral guides? What is the organization of your altar? And I think that that's really, really important because different spirits require different things. And if you are being taught to place everything on one altar, then food offerings would most likely make sense in that specific case. In my tradition, for example, we work with a type of spirit that we would consider elevated, right? And when we are dealing with elevated spirits, these are entities and energies that do not require anything of the material world. As a matter of fact, anything of the material world would literally do nothing but anchor them here. And that is not something that they want or require. And so for us in our tradition, food and drinks and all that stuff on our Mesa Blanca would be unnecessary. It would be a waste of food. Unless, and here's where some caveats come in, right? Unless you are seeking to have those items blessed by elevated, high vibrational spirits, at which point you would leave that on the altar to bless. Now, as far as offerings in general, whether it's food or something else, again, it depends on the spirits that you are working with and that you are instructed to place on that altar. So the boveda, the mesa blanca, and any other type of altar within Espiritismo that you are being taught to put together is going to be to your specific tradition. And the spirits that go on those altars are going to be to your specific tradition, right? So in mesa blanca and in my specific tradition, the ancestors, for example, are kept separately from the quote unquote elevated spirits that would be on this altar. And so the ancestors, because they are closer to the material world, they are the ones that would require food offerings, drink offerings, and things like that as both sustenance for energy and to help them materialize in the world. On the Mesa Blanca and on the altar that is dedicated to the elevated spirits, these energies do not require any type of food. They do not want to manifest in the physical world. If you need them for any type of petition or any type of work in your life, you access them through prayer. Now, when it comes to all these other types of offerings and you want to show love and dedication to these specific spirits on the Mesa Blanca, you would do so with things like incenses, flowers, music. That would be a more appropriate type of offering for them because that is much more of a vibrational type of offering. These are offerings that actually alter the vibration in the space and elevate the vibration in the space. Food does not change the vibration of the space. Drinks do not change the vibration in the space. They are simply offerings. They are there to be given to consume and to take the energy of. Again, when you're dealing with these higher vibrational spirits, they don't need that. They're already of an elevated, high vibration, high energy space. They have all the energy that they need. They don't need anything else. When you're dealing with ancestors and energies that are seeking elevation, that are needing to interact with the physical world, food would make sense to give to them. It helps to anchor them. It helps to give them that connection to the physical world. So this is how, at least in our tradition, we see this. Now, depending on the type of Espiritismo that you work with, depending on the space that you have, right, you're going to be instructed differently by the people who are instructing you. So in a case where you have all the spirits on your altar, like I had mentioned, ancestors, spirit guides, everything is all in one space, then you would put the food there. If it's a situation of the type of working, so for example, if you are seeking to, simply give an offering just to show appreciation, to give love, you would most likely be instructed to put that food on the altar. If you are requesting an actual petition or a favor from your spirits, you would most likely be instructed to place that on a separate place or on the floor, etc., etc. But again, it depends. It depends entirely on who's instructing you and which tradition you come from. So if you're learning from me, I keep the way I organize my spirits is very, very structured. That might be the Virgo in me, all right? But that's how I do it. I keep the energies separate. So that it's easy, number one, to discern. It's easy to know who needs what, etc. But I think this is a really, really great question. I also think it's important to consider a couple of things. You consider the space, just like Nicole had said. We consider the space that we're in. We consider the tradition that we're from, because everyone does it differently and there's no wrong way. And we consider the type of spirits that we are working with, because again, every tradition sees their spirits differently and puts them in different categories and pedestals, if you will. So these three things will determine how you give them offerings, how you give them sustenance, how you give them gratitude, how you set up the space, etc., etc. Okay, so don't feel frustrated for those of you who are new to this and who are not learning from someone specific. Every espiritista will tell you, no matter what tradition they are from, they will tell you to start simple. They will tell you table with white cloth, glass of water, candle, and your book, your Bible, your Allan Kardec book, your whatever, and spending time there. Now, how they instruct you to spend at that space, whether to commune with spirits or whether to commune with yourself or whether to whatever, that's going to be completely up to you and, whoever you're sort of getting a little bit of that guidance from, whether it's online or in person, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, these spirits, once you begin to build relationships with them, they will guide you on what it is that they want on that altar and what it is that they need for sustenance. They will guide you through dreams. They will guide you through your intuition. You will all of a sudden, you'll be walking through the store and all of a sudden you'll get a craving to want to pick up a particular item, or you'll want to consume a particular food, but you yourself know, I don't even like this type of food, or I'm not even attracted to that type of item. And it's because it's not you that is being pulled to those things. It is the spirit moving through you to get those things for their altar. So these are some of the ways that will help you to understand how best to serve your spirits and give offerings to your spirit. And again, huge thank you to Nicole, huge thank you to the Espiritista community for opening up these dialogues and conversations, and I hope we keep them coming. I hope this information was helpful to you guys. Again, my name is Leilani. I'm a mentor and a teacher within this field. If you have any specific questions or if you want to take classes or seek mentorship from me, head over to my website, www.themagicalsolution.com. Thank you so much. This is The Magical Solution, and this is how we grow.